Well, hello and welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. And how are you doing today? I'm not too bad. I've been busy. Unbelievably busy. My kids and my husband took a trip to the camper. And I decided to stay home. I know. Everybody was kind of flabbergasted. But my girls weren't going. You know, they weren't going. And I just felt like I like camping. I like Minnesota. But Memorial Weekend, you know, I've been super busy. I feel like I haven't been home, like I haven't been doing anything, right? So, I just decided I was going to stay home for 4 days instead of traveling 7 hours and, you know, sleeping in. I know it's such a rough time there. I don't have to cook because my husband does most of the cooking because he grills. And I don't have to get up for anything, so I'll sleep in until 9 or 10, which is odd when you're up at 5 to 6 usually, you know. And yeah, I stayed home. And what did I do? Well, I totally repainted the bathroom. I redid my spices. I have questions about these spices, you guys. Just totally revamped a few things, a few spots. I didn't get done what I wanted to. My grandkids came out one night and spent the night, and that was really cool. They built a fort in the middle of the living room. And just, yeah, did a lot of intense cleaning in just specific spots, though. So it's kind of weird. But it was a good thing. It was a good thing. And I really enjoyed myself just having some, I didn't have like solid quiet time because I was doing other things. Like we had a graduation party I went to, and we celebrated my mom's birthday, and you know, so it wasn't like I was home this whole time by myself, you know, which I thoroughly would have enjoyed anyway. So many questions about spices. Okay, so you buy a spice and it says it's good for 1 to 2 years. Okay, great, 1 to 2 years. You know I don't follow that rule, right? Not a waster. When I started to mix my chai mix and my Italian mix and, you know, all these mixes, and then I decided to look up Emerald, the chef, right? I liked him. I liked him. I have his pots and pans. They're stellar. And his red enchilada recipe is spot on. But I decided to look up his Italian recipe and see what his was. Because, you know, you look up Italian mixes and it's like 8,000 different ones. And I thought, he's going to have a good one. And he does. He actually really does. And, you know, and then you read it and it's like, mix all these together and then good for 6 months. So you're telling me that if I mix a spice with another spice that I just bought that's supposed to be good for a year, that has sat on the shelf for 5 years, it's only good for 6 months because I mixed them together? Because they might start smelling like themselves, like soaps do, if you leave them in the same box? That makes absolutely no sense, you guys. I can see if you're making like a ranch mix and you're blending buttermilk with it, because buttermilk does have an expiration date, but it shouldn't expire. If your expiration date is 1.5 years from now, that spice mix shouldn't expire for at least 1.5 years because of the buttermilk powder in it. But if I'm taking garlic, onion, oregano, marjoram, rosemary, thyme, and whatever else, hot pepper flakes, I think, they shouldn't expire in 3 to 6 months just because I mix them together. That's dumb. Yep. It's dumb. I just don't understand it. So if you know the reason why, please tell me, because I don't get it. It sounds like a conspiracy theory to me. So many of those going around lately. But anyway, it's kind of like the whole, you start a rumor, but there's always a little bit of truth in every rumor. Kind of the same with those conspiracy theories. You just got to figure out what the truth is. But anyway, today, I know we did the lilac wines last year. And I know, I can't remember, okay. And I know we did the rose hydrosols. But my lilac hydrosol is my absolute favorite. My absolute favorite. And why? Because I use it for one of my products. Seriously. It's hard to find. It's hard to source. And I just make it myself. So that's what we're doing today. We're making lilac hydrosol my way. If I could afford one of those cool distillers and, hello, but I can't, so we're doing it the cheap way. But 3 things, dream big, be true to you, you are worth it. And let's go check out this lilac hydrosol. Hydrosols are called floral waters or plant waters or hydrolytes, are just basically a water that has the plant components into it. It's not an essential oil. They're generally safer than essential oils. They can be undiluted on the skin for practically everyone, babies to elderly, pregnant women, even most pets. They can be blended together for use. They can be used as facial toners, cleanser. If you mix a little bit of oil in there, you can set your makeup with it, refresh the pH of your skin. You can use it in powdered masks or honey masks. You can spray on pillows or children's pillows with lavender, rose, and chamomile for a good night's sleep. It can be used for itchy skin, and for acne, a little tea tree or Melissa hydrosol added to your products or just spritzed on the face can actually help alleviate some of those skin conditions. Hydrosols can also be used in lotions and cosmetics, and even soap. Can be a little expensive for your soap making, but really can add some components like in a hot process soap, and you add it at the end. Hydrosols are commercially made with a copper distiller, but today we're going to do the simple, cheap method. The first thing you want to do before you begin is to wash and sanitize all the equipment that you'll be using to make your hydrosol. It's just best to do it all at once and get it done. The taller pot works best. This is like a 12-quart pot, and it works really well. I put a rock in the bottom. I put my plant material around the rock, and then I add about 6 to 8 cups of water in my pot. I've already done this, and I forgot to film it, so, okay. Here's my bowl that goes in the bottom. It's not dirty. It's dirty on the outside. So I just balance it on my rock. I don't know. The rock works better than like those little trivets, the little wire things. I don't know why. It just works better for me. I love the see-through cover. If you don't have a see-through cover, just keep adding ice to the top. Don't open it unless you have to. The only bad thing is if you're checking on your water level and you have to add more water. That's where it's going to bite you in the butt. This lid does not go to this pot, but it works perfectly. I put the foil around it to kind of seal in the water, steam, whatever you want to call it. It actually does work better for me, and I reuse the aluminum foil as long as I possibly can. The ice goes on top to help create create the condensation, if you want to call it. I think it would work without the ice. I totally think it would work without the ice, but it does make it nicer, and it does seem to go a little faster. So once there's ice, or it's liquefied, the ice has liquefied, I just actually take a turkey baster and suck it off the top of the lid, because the lid is upside down so the droplets can fall down. And I actually reuse this water. I might use it in my pot that I use to cool off my lye water. I will use it to water plants. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just liquefied. And as for ice, you can use ice cubes. That's no big deal. I use about 3 2-cup chunks of ice, and then a big cottage cheese container a big one for ice. It takes about an hour and a half for all 3 of these to melt. And in reality, I could probably use a couple more ice cubes, but also, I'm not sure it's actually necessary to have the ice cubes. I think it just speeds up the process and does help with the condensation. But with the cover on upside down and the aluminum foil, it still creates condensation. It just maybe at a lower rate. But isn't that beautiful and clear? Do not forget to label and date your hydrosol. It's very important. And if you keep batches or batch numbers, that's also important to record also. And check out the pH. Our water is a good solid 8 to 9, and the hydrosol's a nice solid 7. And don't forget with your hydrosol, store it in a cool, dark environment, preferably the fridge. It doesn't have a preservative unless you add one, and the shelf life is 6 months to 2 years. Peek at it every so often, but don't open the jar if it's sealed unless you need it. If you want to see other hydrosols I've done on the channel, I've done a rose hydrosol and a cucumber hydrosol, which I will link those videos down below. And there you have it, our beautiful Lilac Hydrosol. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.